Good morning, dear students. Welcome to HSC online lecture initiative taken by Shet Vidya Mandir English High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce. I am Ms. Ragini Singh, Assistant Lecturer of Biology, and today we are going to start with a new chapter called Respiration. What is respiration? Define respiration. Respiration is a biochemical process of oxidation of organic compounds in an orderly manner for the liberation of chemical energy in the form of ATP. Let's understand this in a chemical equation. If you look at this equation, on the left hand side you will see a complex compound, that is the glucose C6H12O6 combines with oxygen and it gives you 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water plus 38 molecules of ATP. So the definition states it's a biochemical process where oxidation of organic compound is taking place and it is releasing the ATP, and that is 38 molecules of ATP. Look at this image given below. There you can see the process of the respiration. I hope the definition of respiration is clear to you all. Let's proceed ahead. What are the important organs required for the respiratory exchange? Respiratory exchange is a very simple physical process. The important thing that should be involved and should have the following features. It should have a large surface area. Maximum the surface area, maximum will be the absorption. It should be thin, highly vascular. Vascular means supply of blood vessels. Permeable to allow exchange of gases. And third point, it should be moist. How does the gaseous exchange takes place in plants? This is the diagram of stomata, a small minute pore which is present on the leaf, and this is the lenticels, and via this small openings the gaseous exchange takes place in plants. Let's understand human respiratory system. The human respiratory system is basically divided into two parts. The one is the upper respiratory system and the second is the lower respiratory system. The upper respiratory system consists of external nares, nasal cavities, internal nares, nasopharynx, nose, throat and associated structures. Whereas lower respiratory system consists of larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles and lungs. Look at this diagram. Here there is a clear idea. The respiratory system starting from this nasal cavity, air entering through the nostril. This is the oral cavity. Important structure, that is the pharynx. The voice box, that we call it as larynx. The windpipe, that is the trachea. This is the right lung. This is the left lung. This trachea, when it enters into the lung, it gets divided. The lower important structure over here you can see is the diaphragm. If you see here, the right side of the lungs is divided into 3 lobes, whereas left side is divided into 2 lobes. One over here, second over here, and there is a deep notch present on this left side of the lung. This is the structure of the alveoli and alveolar sac, which is rich with the blood capillaries. It's a small bundle of grape-like structure which is rich with this blood capillaries, where the blood capillaries presented in red and the blue color. And when you take the section of this, the diagram represents somewhat like this. Now what is nose? Why it is important in the respiratory system? Let's study, and what are the important structure it is presenting. Very simple structure, that is the nose, from where you inhale the oxygen, that is basically inhaling the air, and the oxygen is combining with the red blood cells. The inhalation is taking place via a small openings which is called as external nares or nostrils for entry of the air into nasal cavity. This external nares are divided into two small openings, that is right and left nasal chambers, and they are divided by a mesthemoid cartilage. Each nasal chamber is further divided into three regions: vestibule, respiratory part, and olfactory or sensory chamber. What is the vestibule? It is a proximal. Proximal means it's a starting point above the nostril. Its skin has a hair. If you can see in the yourself knows, there are so many hair present, which main function is for the trapping, or you can say filtration. The respiratory part, that is we also called it as a conditioner. The middle thin wall, it is rich in the vascular part. Since it is rich in the vascular part, it means it is going to release the warm air. And the last one, that is the olfactory, which means smell. The main function of the nose is basically in the detection of the smell, because it consists of an olfactory epithelium. A simple representation of the nose: nasal chamber divided by the cartilage called as mesthemoid cartilage, and this is the external nares. Pharynx. Pharynx is nothing but it is a point where the food and the respiratory tract basically cross each other. This pharynx is divisible into three parts. The nasopharynx, attached with the nasal part, is the uppermost part. It leads to the oropharynx, that is the mouth, which is the common passage for food and air. This continues below the laryngopharynx. Laryngo means it's a larynx, that is the voice box. Between the nasopharynx and oropharynx is a palate bone. The pharynx has a lymphoid organ called tonsils, and that's the reason if very frequently the tonsils are trapping the foreign particles, it gets inflamed, and the condition is called as tonsillitis. Look at the structure. Here you can see the nasopharynx, this part. This is the nasal cavity, that is nasal chamber. This is the oral cavity, that is oral chamber. This is called as nasopharynx. This is called as oropharynx, and this one is called as the laryngopharynx. So pharynx divided into three parts. Remember, nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. Let's see what is larynx. Larynx is also called as the voice box. It is actually responsible for the release of the voice. If you even touch this lower portion of your neck and you speak something, you can feel the vibrations. So this is larynx. The larynx basically opens into laryngopharynx through a slit called glottis. This opening of trachea or windpipe is guarded by a flap-like structure called epiglottis. See, when you are eating the food, it has to go into the food pipe, that is the esophagus, and when you are inhaling the air, it has to go into the windpipe, that is the trachea. And both are crossing, that is the windpipe and food pipe. Both are crossing at one particular point. And to prevent that, there is a gate-like structure which is called as epiglottis, so that when you are eating the food, it should not go in the respiratory tract, otherwise there will be a choking of the respiratory tract, and it would be a problematic condition for you. Look at this diagram. This is the mouth from where the food is going to enter, and this is the nasal cavity from where the air is going to enter. Now, since this is the food entering point, this food entering point should come first, whereas the nasal cavity, it means the air windpipe should go from the back. But at this point of time, what happens, the mouth is going from the back part. This is basically the food pipe, and this is the windpipe. It means they both are crossing at one particular point, which we call it as glottis, and it is covered by a flap-like structure called as epiglottis. This is the epiglottis, and this is basically the trachea, and this is the larynx, that is the voice box. Next structure, trachea, also called as the windpipe. It is a long tube about 10 to 12 centimeter in length. It runs through the neck in front of esophagus and extends into the middle of thoracic cavity, that is the chest cavity. It is supported by C-shaped 16 to 20 rings of cartilage which prevents the collapse of trachea. As trachea is not being surrounded by the bone, it requires a support of the cartilage. This trachea is internally consisting of the ciliated, that is the cilia, and pseudo-stratified epithelium. Pseudo means false, stratified means layer, and epithelium. Mucus glands, which helps in the trapping of the unwanted particles, preventing their entry into the lungs. Look over here. This is a structure of the trachea. If you see this is the C-shaped cartilage, and this structure is nothing but it is a muscular organ called as trachea. That's the reason it requires the support of this cartilage. If it is been given the support of the bone, the expansion and contraction relaxation will be an issue. This trachea, the very first cartilage is called as cricoid cartilage, whereas the rest is called as the tracheal cartilage. Adam's apple, that is nothing but it is the larynx, voice box. In a typical, not all but few of the males, you can see a typical Adam's apple pointed exactly in the neck region. Let's move further. Let's study very important organ, that is lungs. It is one of the main respiratory organs of human. It's a pair of spongy, elastic lungs, and they are present in the thoracic, that is the chest cavity. The lung is covered by a double pleural membrane. By default, outer is parietal and inner is visceral. Between the two layers there is always a space, and the space is filled with a fluid. In this case, the two pleura is a pleural cavity filled with a lubricating fluid called pleural fluid. It is secreted by the membranes. The right lung is larger and divided into 3 lobes, while the left lung is smaller and divided into 2 lobes. Each lobe of the lung has 3 terminal bronchioles ending in the bunch of air sac, each with 10 to 12 alveoli. Let's understand this diagrammatically. Now, in biology, this side is basically the right and this is the left. The trachea is going to enter into the lungs, and the lungs is consisting of the pleural membrane that we will see in one of the later diagram. Right lung is larger compared to the left lung because left lung has to give space for the accommodation of heart. This right lung is divided by the 2 fissure, horizontal and oblique fissure, consisting of the 3 parts: superior lobe, middle lobe and inferior lobe. Whereas left lung consisting of the 2 lobes, upper and the lower, and it is divided into oblique fissure. Now if you look over here, this is the important membrane consisting of the 2 layers, the outer one, that is the parietal, and the inner, that is the visceral. Viscera means important, consisting of the pleural cavity. Intercostal muscles are nothing but they are the muscles which is running between the ribs, and this is the diaphragm. This is the chest bone, also called as the sternum or also called as the thigh bone. Alveoli, the globular grape-like structures. These are the thin-walled lobulated. Lobulated means lobes-like structure, like a bunch of grapes. Each alveolus is surrounded by a network of capillaries of pulmonary arteries and veins. These have elastic wall made up of single layer of squamous epithelium, and they are resting on the basement membrane of connective tissue. There are about 700 million alveoli in the lungs, and they provide surface area for exchange of gases. See this. This is the complete structure called as alveolar sac. individual is called as the alveolus and the group of alveolus is called as the alveoli. I repeat, this complete sac-like structure is called as alveolar sac. Individual unit, that is in the singular I will call it as alveolus, whereas plural will be called as alveoli, and there are the pores where the exchange of gas takes place. And in circulation chapter we have studied that the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle goes into the lungs first. It gets oxygenated over here, and then again the pure blood is entering back into the heart via pulmonary veins into the left atrium. So there are almost 700 million alveoli. Just imagine this alveoli, they are total 700, and they provide the surface area for exchange of gases. Diaphragm. It is a septum. It is basically a partition between the thoracic, that is the chest cavity, and abdominal cavity. It is a dome shaped like a mountain structure, and on contraction it becomes flattened. It means when you are in the relaxation state, it is raised. See here. If you look, this is the diaphragm, and this diaphragm is nothing but it is a partition separating the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. It is a septum. And when it is contracting, this dome shape will basically get flattened. This trachea is entering into the lungs. Terminal part is called as bronchus. Further branches is called as the bronchioles. I hope this complete module on the respiration, its part and everything is clear to you. Thank you for attending this module. We will come back with the detailed mechanism of respiration in the next module. Thank you.